We are live. At least I think we're live. Hey guys, this is Sean and Christy of the somewhat world famous Long Long Honeymoon blog. That's kind of an ongoing joke, I hope you realized. And we are currently camping in one of our favorite campsites that we've had in a very long time. It's an awesome spot in our friend's driveway.
Yeah, it's mainly awesome because it's their driveway, but they happen to live in a really awesome place. And so we have a spot here in their driveway. Their house is right there. We're parked right out front, and you can see the water from our campsite in their driveway.
Matt just asked if we're not watching the Masters. We are planning to watch the Masters in just a bit.
Yeah, we'll
I'll
tune in a little later.
we'll probably catch the 18th hole. So yeah, this is a great looking driveway. As John pointed out, I want to show you a couple of things. Their house is a really sleek, modern, contemporary home that's waterfront, and you can tell it's designed to sort of be hurricane resistant, shall we say. If a lot
Yeah.
of water rushed through here, the house is elevated above the ground. It's really cool. And this is my friend's vehicle here. Now, there's a tow vehicle for you. He calls it Truman, and it's a vintage Land Rover, or if you will, Sand Rover. So we just wanted to go live and maybe answer a few questions, give you an update about what's going on with us. We've been traveling around Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and now Florida area.
And from here, we're in the panhandle of Florida right now. Our friends live here on the bay side, and from here, we're going to go further south. So, if any of you guys have any great recommendations of places that are just absolute must sees, must do's in central or southern Florida, let us know. Somebody's asking if it's warm here. Well, it's not cold, it's about 69, I guess. So, it's a little chilly for Florida, but it's a lot warmer than most places that a lot of you are watching.
It's pretty pleasant, really. I mean, like we're in t-shirts, or I'm in a t-shirt right now,
Yeah.
and at night we don't need to run the air conditioner right now, which that's a good thing in Florida. And we just run our fantastic fans at night, and have been very comfortable
Yeah.
that
Somebody
way.
mentioned the Red Bar. Yes, the Red Bar is not too far from here. We have been many times. It's a great spot to go visit if you're in the area. Let's see. Somebody asked if we've ever tried Topsail. Yes, it's a beautiful campground, but it was completely booked when we were trying to come because this last week was spring break in this area, kind of in the southeast. So they've just been completely slammed over there. Hence the reason we were driveway camping at our friend's house. So,
Yeah, our our friends actually, we were talking to them about a week ago, and we had looked at Topsail and Grayton Beach State Park down here. Both are booked solid,
yeah, and
and
Henderson Beach over in Destin, we looked there. They were completely booked. So it was just the week that we were coming, they were just slammed with all the spring breakers. So
and
somebody's saying Three Sisters on Crystal River is a must. All right, sounds good.
Clifford asked if my hat is a Tilly. Yes, it is. And you longtime viewers of Long Long Honeymoon know you can find these hats where else but our little store. But the reason I started wearing a hat in these videos is because I would wake up sometimes and have a bad case of bed hair and do a video on YouTube, and then my bad hair was just made permanent on the internets. And once you do that, you can't get away from it. I just want to show you our site here because it's awesome. We're kind of in the shade. We're right next to a palm
Which the
tree.
sun's really not out right now, so you can't really tell, but we are in the shade when the sun is out, which is nice.
And let's see, Mark G asks how my health is. Thank you for asking, Mark. I'm doing much, much better. I mean, I've got my energy back. I could not have been doing this at this time last year. It was this time last year my health was sort of taking a nosedive. Dexter, thank you so much, Dexter.
Thanks for the tip. And Dry
Says,
Tortugas, it's off the coast of Key West. And when we got married in Key West, we were going to do it, and a couple of the tour companies that we talked to, I think, were booked, and so we never did it. So maybe if we make it to Key West this time, we'll give it a go. I'm not sure if we'll make it all the way to Key West, but we'll try.
Mr. That Guy Oh, see, 38 Tomlinson says drink 38 Beach Blonde for me. That's my friend's beer, actually.
Yeah,
My friend is the 38 creator of
yeah.
38.com.
So Sean and Mike have been best friends since they were in about the ninth grade. They used to own a business together many years ago, and then Mike and his wife moved to the beach, and that's when he started 38.com. So,
You know, the funny thing, my friend and I, 30 years ago, we used to sit around together and play video games. Now, 30 years later, we sit around together and we play video games. So, like, a lot of things have changed and a lot of things have not changed at all. So, that's what friends are all about, isn't it? Let's see. Somebody asked if we ever regret getting a travel trailer instead of an RV or, I suppose, a motorhome.
motorhome.
And, you know, we've talked about this a little bit. It's a totally personal choice, your personal preference. Personally, I've never really regretted it. I mean, like for us, it works well. I like being able to unhitch our truck when we arrive in a community and just be mobile, you know, in our nimble little Ford F-250 diesel behemoth. But you know, to each his own. I know some people really love nimble camper vans, and some people like towing around a smart car with their big motorhome. I mean, you know, there are times I think when we might be a little bit envious of the space that you can get with a larger rig. I mean, whether it's a,
Especially with the storage space underneath, because we have friends that take bikes, they take huge grills, they take kayaks, and all this sort of stuff, and it's all just like tucked away underneath their motorhome. And of course, if we bring anything, it has to go in the bed of our truck. So once the bed of Seymour is full, that's it. We're not bringing anything else. So
yeah, actually, somebody earlier asked about the inflatable boat that we often travel with, the Scout 360, and we actually don't have it with us right now. I kind of, you know, sometimes we wish we had brought it, but there are storage space issues, and before we leave on any particular trip, we have to kind of pick and choose what's going to go in the bed of that truck.
yeah,
And we've got two generators in there now because I'm going to be doing some more generator testing and reviews. And we've got all the other gear that we travel with, so storage space is kind of limited. And
yeah.
if you have a big motorhome or fifth wheel, you know, you've
You
got.
can bring everything
Yeah.
and the kitchen sink if you want to.
Tom asked how Seymour's holding up. Seymour is great. I mean, Seymour is rock solid.
There he is.
Shout out to the guys at Bulletproof Diesel that put Seymour back together. Those guys are great, and you know, the the engine of the truck is just honestly, it's fantastic to drive. Just fantastic torque. Let's see, Vegas said he got his Atima generator. Hope you like it. We're enjoying ours.
Yeah, we've actually got it with us on this trip.
They're quiet. That's
They're
what I really
very,
love about
very
them.
quiet. So, any plans to come out to New Mexico? Well, not this trip. This trip is just for a few weeks, and we'll be going back through Birmingham. And so maybe later in the summer we'll come
Yeah,
through.
we enjoy New Mexico. We've been to Santa Fe several times. Had a fascinating event happen to us in Santa Fe. We saw a tarantula in the wild, like walking across the road right
Yeah.
next to our campground. And it's the only time I've ever seen presumably wild tarantula. I don't know if you have
Yeah.
a lot of them out there, but it was huge. Let's see. Patricia asked about my health. Thank you so much, Patricia. I'm doing so much better.
He's
I've got a
doing a
great
lot
nurse
better.
here that
Well, he's also, his medication is working. So he actually just had a checkup with his doctor about 3 weeks ago. And all of his blood work was coming back, looking very good. They won't do another MRI until the end of the summer, so we won't really know details on that until then. But all of his levels that they look at when they take his blood were
Okay,
doing very
Christy
good.
asked about Alaska and how many days it took us to get to Alaska. Now, we have an Alaska playlist on our channel homepage, so you can probably see every video we've done about Alaska. To answer your question specifically, it took us about 30 days. It took us about 1 month.
But
And
we
that-
were driving from Alabama.
we're driving from Alabama, and we had the luxury of time, which, you know, I realized we could have done it much faster than that.
Yeah.
But we don't usually drive more than a couple hundred miles a day. When we're traveling our Airstream, you know, we just kind of take a leisurely route if possible. And here's someone just said that they took about 5 weeks getting to Alaska.
Yeah. And I think it's smart if you can do that, you know, because the Alaska Highway is a little bit of a challenging drive just because it's a 2-lane road. You really have to pay attention. all the frost heaves, so you slow down a lot, you know, avoid potholes a lot, all those sorts of things. So it's definitely a slower go than most times.
Pamela says she got a notification, got dinged that we were live, ran to the living room at the same time to watch. Wow, we're on your
Yay!
living room TV.
I'm
Hey,
a little
Pamela.
nervous. I need to hold this a little further away. My arms need to be about a foot longer.
Yeah, you don't want to see this face in HD on a big screen, let me tell you.
Somebody was asking how we organize the bed of our truck. We actually use these big storage bins, and we sort of divide it up by like camera, you know, tripods and that sort of thing. And then we have another bin for, you know, chocks and levelers and all
Yeah,
that sort of stuff.
I'll
So
do a
maybe we'll
video about
show
that.
you that. It's probably a little disorganized right now.
I know
or we
I
would
could show it to you
but
now, but I'd
yeah.
probably be slightly embarrassed because it's like, you know, seeing somebody's living room when unexpected company shows up.
Right.
You know? It's like
Right.
it's a little bit of a mess, but let's see. Jean says they enjoyed our video on driving with the propane on or off. That's, you know, it's one of those issues we need to be thinking about because every year we hear about RV fires, and there will be the ongoing debate: mayonnaise or
Chicken salad
death
or
by
cold beer.
fire.
Yes,
So-
death by fire. That's right. Sorry.
So, you know, it's to each his own. In fact, if you look at the comments of that video, it's very interesting because I think a lot of people leave the propane on all the time, and a lot of people shut it off every time they're moving. So
Yeah.
you're going to get opinions, but our bias is always going to be towards giving you sort of the safest advice. Because I would hate to tell people, oh, it's no big deal, and then hear about a fire or something like that.
Lisa, enjoy your new diesel Winnebago. That sounds
Yeah,
awesome.
Sounds great.
Let's see.
See, Robin asked where we're staying. We're at a friend's in Florida. in the
Yeah, so
Florida
we're
Panhandle.
driveway camping at a friend's house in the panhandle of Florida. In fact, we're going to step out here and
Yeah.
show you the view at their house. They are on the bay side. So we'll sort of step through and show you. Here's our Airstream.
This is our sort of bedroom window, and when we look out our window, we can see the water lie in bed.
Yeah, so we're just
So
gonna
it's really
walk
creeped up the
straight
beat.
out, and I'm gonna flip it around, and
Yeah.
you will see. That's the view. Pretty awesome, huh? So we can see this view from our window in our bedroom. So it's pretty nice. And we're very fortunate that they are allowing us to park in their driveway.
Yeah, it's really amazing. I mean, you know, we've actually done a couple videos before about using your RV, whatever it is, as a guest house, and it really works out amazingly well.
Yeah.
Because it's good for everybody. I think you've kind of got that sort of separate quarters.
You're not
And-
right on top of each other. You don't feel like if you go to the kitchen, you're going to bother anybody because we don't have to go to the kitchen.
No, we have a kitchen.
So, yeah, I mean, we don't, yeah, that's what I'm saying. We bring everything that we need, and so we don't have to bother them.
Al asked about Bar Harbor, Maine. What do you enjoy seeing the most in Bar Harbor? Why, if we're going there next month?
Well, the national park is
yeah.
beautiful, Acadia National Park.
Tea and popovers.
Tea and popovers
kind
at
of a
Jordan
tradition
Pond.
there.
You have to go there. Drive to the top of Cadillac Mountain and watch the sunrise. It's the first place in the continental United States to see the sunrise every day. So that's kind of a big deal.
There's also a schooner there. You can go out for like a sunset cruise. It's called the Margaret Todd. And if you want, you can bring a bottle of wine, and it's just a lot of fun.
It's
I mean,
really
like,
cool.
yeah.
It's like a four-mast schooner, one of the only ones still, you know,
Ah,
Baja Blueberry Ale.
yeah, Robert remembers
my
the Baja
favorite.
Blueberry Ale. Well, we do love that stuff.
It is
And
my
the Thirsty
favorite.
Whale. Go to the
Yeah,
Thirsty
go to the
Whale.
Thirsty Whale for your
Tell 'em-
drink.
And there's a place there where you can get blueberry pancakes.
It's
awesome.
Jordan's Restaurant is where you can get blueberry pancakes, and they are amazing. And the blueberry syrup that comes with them is basically just a bowl of blueberries. It's amazing.
Bahama.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's my attempt at a Maine accent. There's also, they have a movie theater there that's one of those where you can get a pizza and a beer, pitcher
Yeah.
of beer, while watching the movie.
Just make sure you read the reviews of the movie before you go in, because we watched some documentary that was.
We watched a complete dog of a movie,
just-
but the beer was delicious. So it makes any bad movie so much better.
Yeah. Let's
Let's
see.
see. Somebody says there are many other places to visit in Maine that are not tourist traps. Well, Twyla, we want you to tell us about them.
Yeah,
I mean,
pitch in.
tell us the good
Tell us what
places.
you know.
That's what we try.
Breakfast at Two Cats. Yes, that's another good place to eat there. There's another place there called McKay Public House. That's a restaurant for like dinner, and they have oh, what was it that I got that was so good? I can't remember what they call it, but
Something fancy.
it was
She likes these fancy meals.
really good.
I'm a meat and taters guy.
Yeah.
Somebody said they would like to see a video about washing your RV. We've done a video about an exterior restoration of our Airstream. Now, the thing about Airstream, it's a little unique because of the aluminum skin. I mean, that's really what sets Airstream apart, but there's some special issues with washing aluminum versus cleaning fiberglass. So we would probably need to talk to an expert with regard to dealing with fiberglass because we're just accustomed to aluminium, the English might say.
Chillin' Roma, thank you very much for your comment. We certainly appreciate that.
So we're still a comedy of errors every time we take our RV out.
I think everybody
Yeah.
usually is, aren't you? I mean, we are. Somebody says, why aren't we going to notify you before our broadcast goes live? We've done that a couple of times, and it seems like whenever we tell people we're going to do a live event, something happens and the Wi-Fi connection is terrible and it like never happens. So it like jinxes us. So we just figure we'll go live. If you see it live, great. And if you don't,
I will say you should get a notification
Yeah,
when
you should
we
get a
go
ding.
live. Now, if you're in the middle of dinner or lunch, I'm sorry about that.
sorry, but you can watch it on replay.
We're going to try to do better and maybe set up a schedule. But when you live a somewhat unscheduled life, it makes it more challenging to do these things on
Right.
a reliable
And when
schedule.
you're relying on LTE for your Wi-Fi, you never really know what you're going to get until you hit the live button and it's either going to work or it's not. So,
Melissa asked, what's for dinner tonight? I had a lunch of steamed shrimp that was absolutely delicious. I mean, Gulf shrimp. And whenever we're here on the Gulf Coast, we try to partake of the Gulf seafood. Last night I had blackened grouper for dinner, so I'm thinking some kind of seafood tonight.
we are in Santa Rosa Beach, Florida. So it's in the panhandle of Florida, sort of between Destin and Panama City. Also known as the 30A area. You've probably seen those little blue stickers before. So some of the other areas around here are Grayton Beach, Seagrove Beach, Seaside, Florida, the famous Seaside, Florida, Rosemary Beach. All those are sort of in this little area.
It's funny, Rob just asked if I ever get teased about my Tilly hat. I mean, I truly, I get teased if I'm wearing a hat. I get teased if I don't wear a hat. If I had a thin skin, I wouldn't make YouTube videos. But I think the hat's pretty good looking. Honestly, I think it's a pretty good looking hat. I wouldn't wear it otherwise. Let's see. Somebody said
sorry.
Stinky's Fish House. Yeah, that's
we've
always
been
good.
to Stinky's before. Have we ever camped at Lake Gunnersville? We haven't camped there with our camper, but we've been to Lake Gunnersville many times. It's
Now,
a
I've
beautiful
heard it's
area.
a really nice place to
But
camp.
I've heard
too.
the campground is very nice. So
Yeah, somebody said it's great. And
enjoy
if you're ever
it.
in the Birmingham area, check out Oak Mountain State Park.
right.
Oak Mountain State Park is fantastic. It's a great place. Somebody asked if our trail plate used to say sweet.
It did. It was
and
when we were registered in Florida, and now we're
Yeah.
back to our home state of Alabama, and they don't do
they won't let us
personalized
do
tags.
that. Angel says he loves the hat. Thank you, Angel.
Somebody said, are you coming further south in Florida? We are. We're going to head further south from here. I think we're going to head maybe to Manatee State Park at some point and maybe down into Tampa, Orlando. We might make it to Key West. We're not 100% sure yet. We're still sort of looking for a place to camp. So we'll see how that works out.
Yeah, this time of year, Florida's a very popular destination. And so we're just going to try and find a place to camp as we move around the state. We'll
Yeah,
see how it
Mexico
goes.
Beach is beautiful. Somebody was suggesting that.
Travis asked if we ever do meetups with, subscribers or whatever, and we're happy to do that. I think the trick is finding the right location and announcing it in advance. And we need to do one. Maybe we'll do
Yeah.
one. I tell you what, maybe if we end up at Disney,
Yeah, maybe we'll do it in Orlando.
we could
if
do one in
people are around
Orlando
that.
or Fort
Tampa
Wilderness or
or
something like
somewhere
that. And we're happy to do it if anybody would show up. I've said this before, but I published a couple of books, and I remember the first time I did a book signing, like one guy showed up and bought a book. So I was sitting out there with my little card table of books, and that's a sad sight when you throw a party and nobody shows up. So we're happy to do meetups if anybody would want to meet us. You know,
Let's see.
let's see. Somebody asked if we ever had gator cakes. I've had gator. Like if you go to New Orleans, you know, you're gonna eat some things that maybe are not on the menu back home. And I think I've had alligator in New Orleans more than once.
Yeah. Somebody's saying Waukee Springs in Florida is a cool thing to do. And we've heard several people suggest that. So we may be trying to give that a go.
Sherry asked if we're going through Washington State on the way to Alaska. Well, we actually have
We
family in Washington State.
we do. We're not going to Alaska
Well,
this year, though.
we may be going to Alaska. She just doesn't know about it yet. I haven't broken the news to her yet.
I'm going to say no.
When we went to Alaska last, we both agreed we would love to go back.
Yeah.
And you know, I think my wife said, yeah, maybe 5 years from now or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? It's been 5 years, so I think it's time.
But last year was an off year.
It is
so
a little
we've
bit.
got to recover a little bit.
The
from
only
that.
thing about it, it's a little bit hard on your rig, you know. And we've done videos about this. Some people actually put bubble wrap and so forth on the front of their Airstream. I mean, we've got dents on the front of our Airstream. I'm not ashamed or worried about them at all. In fact, I think our Airstream is kind of like an old pocket knife that, you know, has been used for many years heavily, and it's got that sort of well-worn patina. So I like that. Somebody asked what kind of device do you live stream on? It's a good old-fashioned iPhone. We do have a gimbal we're holding the phone with, and that helps keep it steady. Otherwise, it gets a little shaky, especially if I've had, you know, my third coffee of the day.
Todd asks, who decides where you go?
Oh, the wife, of course.
It's not always true. I usually will say, how about here, or here? And then he'll pick which seems the most
We collaborate.
appealing, I think. And then sometimes there are places he really wants to go and we go and all that sort of stuff. So, you know.
We do collaborate, and if we find a place and we're really happy there, we'll stay for a while. And you know, if everything's cool with us staying.
Quincy is asking if we are going to come back through the Rocky Mountain states this summer. And I think we probably will go through Colorado at some point.
Brian asked when we're coming to Michigan. You know, we went through Michigan a few years ago, and we had a blast. And you know, I think
We did the UP and all that good stuff, and it was a great visit.
I think
through
Michigan is a state that can really surprise a lot of people,
Yeah.
because if you've never been to Michigan, you might just immediately think of Detroit. But there's so much more to Michigan. There's so many beautiful natural areas, and there's so much great camping. You know, you can take it all the way up to the Upper Peninsula of the UP, and you get in some really beautiful rural areas.
So
Beautiful water up there.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So Carl is asking how we're dealing with our black and gray tanks since we have no hookups here at our friend's house. Well, we are used to dry camping a lot in a lot of national parks, so we're used to stretching out our water supply. That's not really that big of a deal to us.
Look, I take one shower a week, whether I need it or not. That's my philosophy.
People are going to think you're serious. He really does shower more than that. But while we're here at our friend's house, we have gone inside to shower. But, you know, other than that, we've just been using our camper. And we've been here, I guess, for 4 days. So I think the longest we've ever stretched out our tanks in a national park is 9 days. And that was showering in the rig.
Now, we do have the
So-
luxury of, we've got a shower here
Yeah.
that's sort of adjacent to the swimming pool area, and so we're not even having, because it's a shower that really uses up your fresh water. You know,
Right.
like the first time you go boondocking, you'll figure that out. You probably burn through more fresh water taking a shower than anything else. See, somebody asked about how do you keep from buying souvenirs. I kind of want to answer that question because I used to be a souvenir purchaser. I used to go, I've traveled a lot, and we both have. I mean, I've always loved travel, and in the past, I wanted to bring home some sort of tangible souvenir, but I don't really do that anymore for the most part. If I buy a souvenir, it's usually going to be something functional. Okay, like This is a souvenir of my trip to Maine. I mean, honestly,
Yeah, he bought this in Acadia National Park.
I bought this in Acadia National Park in Maine. And so this is kind of a souvenir that reminds me of the trip, and it's also something I use all the time. The other souvenirs that we use are or that we bring are photos and videos.
Yeah.
Like just photography serves as a souvenir to me. And you take a good photo, you've created something that's priceless.
Right. I mean, I think we tend, if we do get a souvenir, like when we were in Austin, Sean bought a pair of cowboy boots.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like something he'll wear that's very functional, but it's a memory of being in Austin. So
Patricia asked about what our worst experience on the road was. Well, I've got a pretty easy answer to this, actually. And for me, it's when I broke my foot.
Yeah.
Because we were in California, I broke my foot, and so we're 2,000 miles from home. I have no way of doing the things that you need to do to camp. And I couldn't even walk. I couldn't really get in and out of the trailer. So that was a pretty tough experience. We had to put everything into storage, like
That's when Vinny was a lifesaver for us, because we happened to be near Vinny when it happened, and he kind of came to our rescue. So
yeah, Vinny's North Bay Airstream repair.
Yeah, he's in Northern California.
Vinny and his wife Cindy are just fantastic people, first and foremost.
Yeah.
And he also happens to be an incredible Airstream guy.
Yeah.
So if you're anywhere within 1,500 miles of Vinny, you need to take your Airstream there.
Yes, for sure.
Let's see.
Somebody was saying do a meetup in Colorado.
Yeah, we
Sounds
love Colorado.
good.
I'd love to go back.
Somebody else mentioned a meetup in Tampa.
See, I think this is another good point. Angel made his favorite souvenir is a sticker he can put on his camper, and we do that
as well. We don't put ours on the outside of our camper. We put them on the interior of our door. So when we have our screen door closed and the exterior door open, that's where you see our stickers. So that is where we try to put those.
You want to go in? Or?
It's Christy from the South. Yes, I am. I'm from Birmingham, Alabama.
These little gnats are getting me.
Yeah, we're getting these little no-see-ums.
I think it's that time of day.
It's like getting close to sunset. So we're going to come inside and see if it makes things a little better. And we won't have to hold this phone. We can put it on a tripod. And it'll be a little more steady for you guys. So we're going to step inside.
Hopefully without breaking any feet.
Yes.
All right. Now bear with us for like 1 second here, guys.
Yeah, because we're going to switch this over to a little tripod. Here, I'm going to
this is a high tech maneuver here.
Yep.
So some of you guys were asking about our video setup, and here I'm switching from to a tripod because nobody likes shaky video, do they? Yeah, the feed just froze. Sorry, guys. A little bit of setup issues, but I think we've got it ironed out now. I'm going to take off my hat. Some people fuss at me for wearing a hat indoors. You know who you are. Yeah, let's go slide out. Brian asks, who keeps the Airstream so spotless? Well, we do pressure wash it probably once a year, and we soft wash it periodically if it needs it. It's not really spotless. If you get up close to it, you'll see.
It's dirty right now.
Well, it's okay. They show pretty well. Something about that aluminum.
Ours has a little bit of pollen sort of stuck to the outside of it right now, and we scrubbed it before we left, but it's since rained on us, and then pollen has fallen again, so we're sort of back to where we are.
Right. Let's see. Jody asked, don't you have to worry about too much pressure from pressure washer? You definitely do. We've actually got a video in our YouTube channel, surprise, surprise, about some tips for pressure washing an Airstream or an RV. And the Airstream factory says it's fine to pressure wash. You just have to be mindful that you don't damage your rig in the process.
Yeah, I think you just don't get too close, I mean, you can stand a foot away and do what you need to do as far as washing it. Oh, wow, Robert. Thank you so much for the tip there.
Thank you, Robert.
That's
Robert
awesome.
says, YouTube inspired me to purchase my Arctic Fox 25 Rs. Someday we'll meet, and I'll bring down the Baja Blueberry Ale. That sounds great.
It sounds like a good plan,
The
Robert.
first round will be on us. Thank you.
Safe travels to you and enjoy your Arctic Fox. We've heard those are great campers, especially for cold weather.
My dude asked if we're plugged into our friend's house. We are. So we're running off AC, and it's I guess you'd call it it's 20 amp setup.
Duke, I have to ask, do you have a daughter with a YouTube channel? If you do, just comment back. So
let's see. Angel asked, when washing a camper, aren't you supposed to wash it with a camper soap? I think if it's fiberglass, I think that's the case.
Yes.
With these Airstreams, they're clear coated aluminum, and it's just a little bit different. They're a little finicky. Some people get special soaps. Our friend Vinny just recommends Dawn dish detergent. He says Dawn really works well at getting grease off.
Let's
see. Somebody asked about tires. I really want to do a video soon about switching your trailer to LT tires, because I mean, we've done this on our Airstream and have been very happy because we've gone to Michelin and just a lot happier and feel more secure with that setup.
Scott Snyder. Hi, Scott.
Hey, Scott.
He says he just changed out his oven stove combo to just a stove. Do you use your oven very much? We do use our oven. It sort of depends where we are and what kind of camping we're doing. If we're more in a city, I don't cook those kind of meals as often. But when we're in more of like a national park type setting where the food is just sort of those bad concessioners, we tend to cook more in the RV, and I do use the oven more then because I'll cook cornbread to go with like chili or that sort of thing. Or, I'll bake chicken or, just more of those types of items. So I do use the oven, and I like my oven. I would not give it up. But there are a lot of people that, would rather have the storage space.
Yeah, I think cooking in this oven is pretty tricky. I honestly don't like it that much because sometimes the flame will go out and you have to relight it. And then a lot of times it cooks too strong. It's like...
you have to watch it more than you do in a regular oven. But I also think it cooks better if you cook in cast iron. So if you have a cast iron skillet, like cooking my cornbread in that, it cooks very evenly in that. If I cook biscuits or something like that in like just a regular sheet pan, it doesn't do as well. So
Chip asked about Seymour and said he just placed an order with Bulletproof Diesel. Seymour's running great. I'll probably do another video pretty soon about the bypass filtration system we have in the truck, because we just did a big oil change recently. Changing oil with this Bulletproof Diesel setup, if you're a do-it-yourselfer, it's a little bit more involved. It's a lot of oil. We're talking about at least 17 quarts. I think maybe it was 19 quarts, because we changed both filters, the primary oil filter and the bypass filter. But we're totally pleased with the way the truck is running. It's bulletproof. I mean, it really is running great.
So several people have been asking where baby girl is. How is baby girl? Baby girl is very good. She is at home with my parents.
Yeah.
So she doesn't really like dry camping and that sort of thing. So she stays in luxury at my parents'
I'm missing her terribly.
Yes.
I had a dream about her last night.
You didn't tell me.
Honestly, it was a nightmare. It's like if you ever have a dream and you're afraid that your dog is in danger in the dream. And anyway, so weird dreams. Let's see. Right. Ken says, stayed at Grovant Site 67. Thanks, best ever. Saw 2 moose. That's awesome.
Yeah.
We've done a lot of videos about Grovant and that campground in the Jackson, Wyoming area in Grand Teton National Park.
Yeah.
We love it. I'm sure we'll probably be out there later this year. And it's, if you like wildlife viewing, you're pretty much guaranteed to see moose in that area. We see them pretty much every time we go. And it's a thrill when you step outside your camper and you see a massive bull moose. I mean, they can be super close to your RV too, because they walk right through the campground, going to the Grovant River and back. So let's see. Stormpod says, we've been binge watching your Alaska series. Thanks for staying with it, Sean. Thank you guys. I would like to do some more Alaska videos. I'm trying to think if there are other questions that we can answer about our trip to Alaska, because I shot an incredible amount on video, went up there and back.
Stacy Creek says, can you give me an idea of how much data you use per month?
A lot.
A ridiculous amount, because we have unlimited data package plans, so I really couldn't tell you off the top of my head. But, you know, with uploading videos from the road, that eats up a lot of data.
Yeah, we use our phone.
Probably a little more than the average person.
Our phone is a Wi-Fi hotspot, and you know we do pretty much everything using our phones for that. So that gives us Wi-Fi for our laptop. I've discovered I can play Xbox using my phone as a hotspot. So this was a big breakthrough for me.
He's very, very happy to discover that.
So yeah.
Let's see.
So if any of you guys play PUBG out there, look out.
Somebody says, let's see, recommendations for the Seattle area.
Well, we have family in that area, and we usually camp in their driveway. So
I know there is a KOA near Seattle. We have not stayed at it, so I can't speak from personal experience, but I know it's there. And then also, if you want to camp more up the peninsula, like around Bremerton, Washington, there are more campgrounds on that side, and then you could take the ferry over if you wanted to.
Dick Knowles asked if we use a cellular booster. We have one of those WeBoost devices, and we've never really had it properly installed. I brought it with us on this trip, and so we're probably going to play around with it. I've been wanting to do a video about the WeBoost, but the one time we tried it, I wasn't just blown away with it, but to give it a fair chance, we need to do a better job with the installation. Patricia asked about our shocks that we did before. I think you're talking about the Bilstein shocks that we have on Seymour, and yeah, we really like those. They improve the ride.
Major difference. Yeah. Also, Tina asked, are there free campgrounds in Alaska?
Alaska is a free campground.
Yeah, it's not really a true campground, but there's plenty of dry camping available for free in Alaska. So, you know, it just depends on if you're good to go with no hookups. So, yeah, you can find it.
Yeah,
it's not hard.
One great thing about Alaska, just going up and down the Alaska Highway, and even when you're in Alaska, everything's very RV friendly up there. It's not like down in the lower 48 where somebody's just waiting to give you a ticket because you pull over on the side of the road for 10 minutes. Up there, you can pull off on these turnouts and spend the night. And we did that several times in Alaska, and really in some beautiful places. So, you know, Alaska is pretty expensive in general, but you can find free camping if you look around for it.
Alice Von Kanan, says, you inspired us too, and we just spent the savings to buy our first Airstream this week. Now officially retired, sort of. Any hints for the shakedown trip? I would say stick close to home for that shakedown trip. In case you forget something major or have a big problem, it's not too hard to get home.
Go somewhere pretty nice, I think. I mean, because one of our first trips, we actually went to the beach. Maybe not the first. The first trip, we went to Oak Mountain State Park, which was a beautiful camping spot. Another tip I would say is go full hookup, which you probably would anyway, but don't start out boondocking because you're going to be...
You got to learn the ropes.
You'll be blown away by how quickly you use up all your fresh water.
Right.
No matter what RV you have.
Yeah.
I mean, the first time, because you have to change your water usage habits when you're in a camper. And good grief, Daniel.
Wow, thank you, Daniel.
He says, hi, guys. Thanks for all your content. God bless. Thank you so much,
That's
Daniel.
so nice.
That's
thank
crazy.
You.
Thank you so much. I mean... Let's see.
Somebody says shakedown. Check the wheel bearings, brakes, and the date stamps on the tires. Yes, absolutely. Those are all excellent tips. We usually sort of guess that when people are doing a shakedown cruise, they're sort of buying a new unit or it's already been inspected and they're just trying to figure out what to pack, what to bring, that sort of thing, sort of learning the ropes as far as, you know, actually getting on the road. But yeah, all those safety things are very important. Check all your turn signals, your brake lights, you know, your connections, your electric brakes, all those sorts of things are very important. And then
actually a point about the tires, a lot of times with RVs that can be a little deceptive because RVs sit still most of the time. Most RVs are usually sitting still, so they could have very good tread on the tires. Like they may look like they're healthy, but actually they could be old and the rubber
could be dry rotted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see. Kelly asked, when's the next full video?
I've got a couple in the pipeline I'm working on. I'd say it's the irony of doing travel videos. I've talked about this before. It's harder to do the really big, ambitious videos when you're actually traveling around. Anybody who's ever tried doing this stuff knows what I'm talking about because, it's just editing on a laptop and everything. But I have a bunch of videos in the pipeline. Actually, I have some product and gear reviews too, which I get requests a lot of times. People want an update on our GPS or how these generators are doing, and I have a lot of fun doing those. Let's see. Somebody says Scott says watches all the videos. Hey Scott, Scott Snyder is a guy who we met in Jackson, Wyoming a few years ago. One of those impromptu meetups where we were just walking down the sidewalk, and he's like, "Hey, don't you guys make YouTube videos?" I was like, "Yeah, that's us." And he and his wife were traveling around the Yellowstone Grand Teton area. That's a lot of fun. If you ever see us out and about, don't hesitate to say hello.
Yeah.
I met a guy. We were in a local brewery here in this area the other night, and I met a guy who's watched a lot of our videos just randomly. He happened to be sitting next to me at the bar, and had a nice chat with him. There's John Marucci.
John, we are broadcasting from Santa Rosa Beach, Florida, in the Panhandle.
So we are on our way elsewhere in Florida. So I don't know. I know
hello from
John's
Dublin,
been in Florida
Ireland.
Recently.
Wow.
Hey, I've been to Dublin.
Sean has been. I have not.
Temple-Bod District. That's
And
Jamie
then,
in Dublin. Yeah.
Cycling Fanatic says they're in Macedonia. Wow.
I had a pint of the black stuff in Dublin, as they say.
We have not been to Macedonia, so
Not yet.
it's on the list.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Somebody says they picture strangers yelling "lo loho" to you in traffic.
We've had that happen before.
Yeah.
And sometimes if they're too far away, we can't tell what they're yelling. So we think they're just like yelling at us. We were in a Walmart parking lot.
Hey, your
one
tire
time,
blew out. No.
and somebody was like screaming across the parking lot. And I was like, why is this guy yelling? And then later we realized he was yelling "lo loho."
Scott Weatherby.
Oh,
Holy
wow.
cow.
Thank you so
Scott.
much for the tip, Scott.
So love your live events. And let's see. Campfire questions. Costco has iPower generator powered by Yamaha for $4.99. I would love to see more videos about your Scout inflatables use, stability, etc. My only hope of a boat RV combo.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see about doing more videos. We'll probably bring the boat with us this summer, and we'll maybe do some follow-up for you, Scott. I appreciate that. I think it's a good choice. I mean, the thing you have to keep in mind, if you deck it out, especially if you're going to bring a motor with you, which is a great option on those Scout inflatables, you can stick a motor on the back, and it's a fantastic experience. But if you bring the motor, you got to have storage for that. You got to have storage for the batteries for the motor. You really need two batteries, kind of one to take you out and one battery to power you back in. And so you can, end up with a lot of gear associated with the boat. But the experience of being out there on the water is fantastic. And we used ours a good bit in Grand Teton National Park last year and the previous year, actually, and had a great time.
Okay, so somebody just commented and said, "Oh wow,
Marcus, thank you so much, Marcus.
Thank you so much."
Any plans for the North Carolina Outer Banks? I would love to do the Outer Banks, and we need to look into camping there. I actually went to grad school in North Carolina. I went to UNC Law School in Chapel Hill, believe it or not. So I'm an old Tar Heel, and we have family in the Charlotte area. And North Carolina is a fantastic state. If you guys haven't visited North Carolina, because you've got kind of the mountains to the west, you've got Asheville, and just a lot of great stuff to do there. And then you have like the Outer Banks and the coastal areas to the east. Dick Knowles. Thank you, Dick.
Thank you so much. I'm glad you love your RV Garmin.
That's cool, because I'm working on actually on a follow-up, because a lot of people have asked about the Garmin. Overall, I think it's great. I mean, we use it as our go-to GPS every day, navigating around town and with obviously towing our travel trailer. And so I'm doing kind of a real-world update on it. I haven't seen any better RV GPS than that Garmin 770.
Laura Morgan says we yell Lolo every time we see an Airstream.
That's great.
That's awesome. Now, whoever is driving that Airstream, if it's not us, might have no idea what you're talking about and might be scared. But
I think that's kind of what makes it cool, though. It's
funny.
kind of an insider's deal, you know. If you're a part of the Loloho Nation, you know what we're talking about, you know.
Joe the computer guy says, is the brain tumor channel formally closed? Will it get an update? As always, we hope for the best.
I owe you guys an update.
Yeah, he needs to do an update just so people can click on it and get the full scoop. In short, he's doing well. His medication is working as well as we can hope. And so we're sort of just waiting and watching.
I've got my energy back. All my hormone levels that were so bad, out of whack last year, are much better. And that bad hormone that was just so prevalent in my system last year, on the measurement scale, it went from like being 220 down to around 15. So it's like registering in the normal range. It's kind of weird because, good grief, Michael, my goodness,
thank you so much for the tip. Start my first RV trip tomorrow. So excited. Love your videos. Glad to hear Sean is doing well.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Michael.
you so
It's
much.
amazing.
And thank you for the tip. That was very generous.
Safe travels. Go slow. Take it easy.
Yeah, just enjoy yourself.
Yeah, just have fun with it. Take your time. Don't get in a hurry. And just enjoy the experience. Enjoy the journey, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as my health, my hormones, I was going to say, like, I've got this almost teenage hormones going on now. And so, like, I've got some acne issues. So, like, hopefully it's not coming across too much on the video. So John asked about a tire pressure monitoring system. We need to get one. I'm going to get one and do a review on whatever the popular one is. We have a tire pressure monitoring system that I bought a few years ago and didn't install. And I think the technology has gotten a whole lot better since then. So truthfully, right now we're not running with one. I will say, with our Michelin setup, I have so much confidence in our tires right now that I'm not as worried about it as when we were running those Goodyear marathons. You know, Goodyear marathons, you probably need a heavy-duty tire pressure monitoring system with instant feedback.
Yeah.
With blowout alarm system. That's what you need.
Swamp
Just
Fox
kidding, Goodyear.
321 says, I just bought and received my Proven Industries tongue lock for my travel trailer. Thanks for your review.
Good choice.
Well, I think that's an excellent choice. And I've felt a lot more peace of mind since we've gotten ours, just because you know that it's going to slow somebody down. I don't think there's anything that you can do to completely make your trailer theft proof. But that huge Proven Industries lock is so heavy. It's so hard to try to pick that it's going to slow somebody down enough to where they're going to move on to something else.
It weighs like 10 pounds.
Yeah,
it's a
heavy.
beast.
You have to be careful not to drop it on your foot when you're installing
you can
it,
break
'cause
your
you can
toe
do
if
that.
you drop it.
Not that I would know about that.
Let's see. Someone asked if we're coming through Idaho. Joe says he's using Clearasil every day. Yeah, I've got my little acne rinse. It's not as bad as when I was a teenager and I was so freaked out about any kind of acne, but you know.
Rob, we might be coming through Idaho. We're probably going to go through Jackson this year since we didn't get to go last year. And then Sean's sister lives in Washington State. So we'll probably pass through Idaho on our way. So we'll let you know.
Bruno is in Brazil.
Wow. Hello in
Brazil. We'd love to go to Brazil.
Best phone provider.
We use AT&T, but I
we've
wouldn't
had
say
it for
they're the best, to be honest.
20 years, so I can't really speak to other brands. Let's see.
I really want to spend more time exploring Idaho because I feel like we've sort of driven through it a few times, but we haven't really stopped and explored much.
Dennis Brambles asked, what about healthcare on the road? We have done an entire video on healthcare on the road and sort of like
health insurance issues,
doctors on the road, getting prescriptions on the road. So just look back through our recent videos. It was towards the end of last year that we posted that. So just check there and watch that video. And let's see. Somebody is asking again where we are in Florida. We're in the Panhandle, Santa Rosa Beach.
Somebody said they'd like for us to do a meetup in Idaho. We'll see about that.
Oh, wow. Steve Wheeler.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you so much for the tip. That's
amazing.
So nice.
Thank you so much.
You people blow us away when you do that.
I'm telling you.
Let's see.
Okay, this time this says, thank you so much for the high quality of your videos. It gives us a great level to aspire to. Thank you so much. Because there's a lot.
Sean puts a lot of work into those videos.
Some of those videos, there's a lot of effort has gone into making them, and I've said to myself, it's crazy.
And a lot of times the filming them is not the hardest part, even though there's a lot of work that goes into that. It's the editing and uploading. Those two things, I think, cause the most frustration.
Yes,
because the filming can be fun sometimes.
Really, the editing, you know, just like flying, you know, some of those videos, the really more ambitious ones, you know, there's just so many different shoots and shots. I'm flying drones. We've got car mounts. We've got sliders. We've got dollies. We've got all sorts of crazy stuff. That's why, honestly, I love these live chats because we can kind of just relax and use our phone. Yeah.
Kara, hi to Central Florida. I think we're going to be heading your way in the next week or two. So we may do a meetup in Central Florida.
Thank you, Diane.
Diane, thank you for the tip. We greatly
love your
appreciate
videos.
it.
Stay healthy now.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
Thank you. Super sweet.
Reminds me I got to take my medicine today.
Yeah.
But somebody asked about, I've had a couple questions about video editor. I use a software called Vegas. And I've used this since day one.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I use it is because it ingests footage from different cameras and handles that pretty well. In other words, like I can use a little action camera, I could use a video camera, I could use a stills camera, I can use a drone, and edit it all with that Vegas pretty easily and smoothly. So it used to be owned by Sony, and now the software is owned by a company called Magix. Mr. Roboto said more campfire questions. All right, we'll do more campfire questions.
Campfire questions are usually a lot of fun. It's a fun way for us to answer a question that's been asked a lot. Somebody says, are you guys ever getting a different rig? Not until this one falls apart. Or somebody wants to give us a new one. I mean, if Airstream says, hey, we'll give you a new Airstream, we would take it.
Yeah, if I was Airstream, I would say we need to get these guys into the latest classic. I would say hook them up. We need to get them into the nice.
Mark Oliver says, have you thought about
classic.
doing an RVing book? We actually have done that.
Yeah,
Sean's written a couple of books about RVing, and they're in our Amazon store, which
right.
you can find at longlonghoneymoon.com, and you can click on supply store to get to it, or you can go to amazon.com/shop/longlonghoneymoon. So
Ava says, greeting from Iceland.
Wow. Hi, Iceland.
We really want to come up there at some
We've
point.
heard wonderful things about Iceland.
Let's see. Somebody asked about thoughts on carrying a legally registered pistol from state to state. I mean, it's your right as an American, so what am I going to say? I mean, I don't know. There have been some apps that study the different laws, you know, regarding firearms taken from state to state, but, you know, it's up to you.
Michael Armstrong asks, are we members of any camping group? We are members of Good Sam Club, and we just joined Passport America this year. And I think we may try Harvest Hosts this year. We haven't signed up for it yet, but we're thinking about it. Wow, Mike Griffin, thank you so much for the tip.
Wow,
and
holy cow.
I'm glad he's getting better too.
Thank you so much. So they're planning our next big trip to the Blue Ridge Mountains. Any suggestions?
We haven't really done much camping there. We've been there in a car before, but not really in a camper. I mean, Asheville, North Carolina, we've done that, but that's sort of not technically the Blue Ridge Mountains.
It's sort of on the edge of the Blue Ridge. Like we went to Asheville 2 or 3 months ago, and we loved it.
Cool Trickin.
Hey, Cool Trickin. Cool Truckin, maybe.
Oh, okay, Cool Truckin. There you go.
Come to Idaho. We would love to see you. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thanks for the tips.
Thank you so much.
Kim says we love Harvest Host. Great beers and wine.
Yeah,
awesome.
we're members of a few different clubs. We haven't tried Harvest Host yet, but I think we'll.
Vegas Roy. Thank you so much for the tip. We appreciate that.
Appreciate it, Vegas.
Vegas.
Trucks, I like that name. Big Truck, Big RV. Hey guys, perhaps we should collaborate the next time you're in Texas. That sounds good.
Yeah, that's always fun.
Yeah,
We've never really done a true collaboration, so
yeah, we're going to start doing a lot more of that. So we'll definitely get together. And we've got some family in Texas, in the Dallas area, Dallas-Fort Worth. And so we usually go through there. Anytime we're going out to the west, we usually go through Texas. We've always had a good time in Texas.
Let's see.
Someone asked about personal safety on the road, what do you recommend?
Being aware of your surroundings.
Well, I was going to say a Chihuahua. If you can get a feisty little Chihuahua. Now, I think that is true that what Christy, where she was going with that, the best way to be safe is to always be aware of your surroundings and make sure that you're going to safe places. And if you ever find yourself feeling in any way, uncomfortable, or if you're in an unsafe place, move on. And we've not really had, knock on wood, we really haven't had those kind of negative experiences. Let's see.
Somebody says, can you explain how to make a donation? By the way, Sean, my wife thinks you have beautiful eyes, and I think your wife does too. Oh, that's so sweet.
That's really nice. You might be joking about my eyes.
No, he has really beautiful blue eyes. They're very bright. And I love your eyes.
Somebody pointed out a few weeks ago and said that Sean always widens his eyes whenever he's like making a point in conversation. I thought that was hilarious because it's very true, I guess.
As far as leaving a tip, I think if you are on YouTube, kind of maybe down below the video on the right, I think there's like a little dollar sign, and you can click that and make a donation that way.
It's called Super Chat.
I think this is the
only second time we've ever had it.
Oh wow!
Wow,
Angel, thank you so much for the tip. Wife and I love your channel. Oh, thanks.
Thank you for all you share with us. I have to get back to work. Safe travels. Thank you so much, Angel.
Be safe. Hi, Emma.
I believe it was Angel who sent me a message a few weeks ago, and it was about wheel chocks and the importance of wheel chocks, that he had a trailer roll.
Oh, yeah.
Because it didn't have wheel chocks down. And, it's something we've never witnessed personally, but it was a great reminder.
Mm-hmm.
And since he sent me that message, I've been diligent about putting my wheel chocks on our trailer, because it's pretty easy to get kind of lazy and slack off on some of those little details.
Yeah. Rod asks, or he says, we would love to see you guys in Banff, Alberta.
Banff.
We might make it there this year, because it's been a while since we've been to Banff. And when we were there last time, they were actually repaving the entire main street, so it was completely blocked off to traffic. And so it would be nice to go back and have
the heart of town was gutted.
Main street.
Somebody asked, I thought this was interesting about, have you ever been to a campground you'll never go back to? Melissa asked that. And we like to focus on the positive, but I'm going to call out one campground. I'm going to call out Malibu.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I won't say too much, but there was one in Malibu, California. You can guess which one.
Yes.
And really, it's not so much the campground, except they were just really rude.
The people running it are like the crabbiest, rudest people. And it's like, dude, you sit on the beach and you look at the water all day and you check people in at campers. This isn't like the high stress job. You know what I'm saying? A little like, smile wouldn't kill you.
People are here to have a good time, not to, just deal with rudeness. So that was kind of more of an attitude thing.
Got yelled at when
the view was great, though. It was a nice view, but a lot of places.
Maybe different people work there now.
Well,
I hope.
That's right. So, how do we send you a picture of us in our Loloho shirts, Joe and Danny?
Well, you can
Thank you guys for getting the Loloho shirts. You can find these where else? You know where? In the Amazon store. But
you could send us a message on Facebook. You could email it to honeymoonshow@aol.com.
I think Facebook would be, if you do Facebook, it'd be a great place. If you don't do Facebook, do a fake account.
Denise McIntosh.
Hey, Denise, thank you so much
for the tip.
We appreciate it, Denise.
Appreciate that.
Thank you. Thanks for mentioning the Loloho t-shirts too, by the way, because we haven't really seen these in the wild yet, but I know that, people are buying them. Everybody loves the shirts. The quality of the shirt is great. Just be aware they're a little bit snug. So like order a size up if you think you might have any fitment issues. But we love these t-shirts.
Somebody asked how we laundry. Most campgrounds have laundry facilities, so I just rely on those for the most part.
Thankfully, our friends here in Florida have washer and dryer.
Yeah, I've got some laundry going right now in their house. Somebody asked, do we do subscriber meetups? We have not ever done a subscriber meetup, just because do you people want to meet us? Maybe you do, maybe you don't, I don't know. But we should start trying to do that more. So maybe we'll start trying to plan that a little in advance. The problem is we don't make our travel plans super far in advance. So we really will probably only have like a week's notice before we get somewhere. So if last minute notifications don't bother you, then we can make it happen.
Mr. Roboto asked if we've ever had any like scary experiences that cause us to leave a campground in the middle of the night, and I don't think we really have, other than like we've been in a couple of sketchy Walmart parking lots, and we moved on from there. So maybe that qualifies. So somebody says, "How does your rig handle in strong headwinds?" Handles really well. You know, we've driven really fast across places like Nevada and Utah, like where the speed limits are pretty high, and New Mexico, and the winds can be pretty strong. And really one advantage about Airstreams, truthfully, is the aerodynamic shape. You know, that they're kind of they tow really well. So, and we do have an anti-sway bar on our rig, and if you don't have an anti-sway bar, I recommend you get a nice cheap knockoff at least anti-sway bar, and that will give you more stability in times of windy conditions.
Sorry, I'm trying to scroll through these comments and see everybody. It's hard because a lot of times people will comment and it'll just fly by, and so I'm having to scroll back through and see. So don't think I'm automatically like ignoring you. It's just it's hard to scroll through and see all the comments at once.
Somebody says, I was going to recommend your towing video, but I couldn't find it on YouTube. Was it taken down? No, it should still be on there. We've got like one towing video that has like our 20 tips. And I'm going to do a follow-up video to that and talk about a few things in greater detail, especially on the tire issue, because when we made that video, we were still running those Goodyear marathons, which we had almost no confidence in. So anyway, we'll be doing an additional towing video very soon.
John Marucci said, how about your Vegas campground where Christy had her bike stolen? Yeah, we will never go back there. Until
that's a good point.
I mean,
yeah,
it's the Circus KOA,
there.
and unless they put up some really big gates and, you know, put up some security, we would not go back.
Somebody said we look a little haggard. I think
thanks a lot.
I think the thing
that.
is, like, you're really close to the screen and I'm far away, and I do look kind of haggard. That's just the way I am. I'm haggard these days. What can I say?
Thanks though for that sweet comment.
Wasn't that a country music singer, Merle Haggard?
Merle Haggard.
I'm Sean Haggard. Let's see. I think we're hitting an hour.
Yeah,
on our chat, so we're probably. Somebody asked about getting Amazon to set us up on their Canadian site. That is an ongoing problem, and we need to talk to Amazon about that, because I know we have a lot of great Canadians out there who want to shop in our store, but I don't know. It's a little funky. Anytime you're doing business in Canada, I don't know. It's just a little different, the way the tax issues work and all that. See, it was Wendy's who said that.
Oh, right.
Somebody says, what's the best interior modification you've made? Best is pretty tough.
Yeah, that's hard.
Let me think about that for a minute. I'm just going to rattle off some modifications. I mean, there have been a lot of sort of cosmetic modifications. I really like the interior overhaul we did, I guess, about 2 years ago, where Christy painted a lot of the walls and did this decoupage work on the desk. And there's a video about this on our YouTube channel. And I think that was just a great upgrade. We switched our lights to LED.
Yeah,
so
that made a big difference.
Yeah, so like that was a significant upgrade in terms of, you know, truly performance upgrade, having these LED lights in place, because it's so much better for boondocking. They burn cooler. They, you know, they don't put out so much heat. And I don't know. So I think most of the interior modifications have been on the cosmetic side of things.
All right.
Mattress topper.
Yeah, that's probably a good answer. Thanks for answering for us, Joe Don Baker. My mind blanked on that, because, you know, we did that when we first got our camper, so it's been so long since we've done that.
We changed our faucet too. Got rid of the old slightly profane 1980s faucet design.
Somebody says, can I hire out Christy's dad to do work on my RV?
Yeah, he's the best. He is the best. Now we
should
said
consider
that
side work.
we
He
told him
does work on some people's cars on the side, but you've got to know him really well before he'll take on your task.
we told him he should do a hotline where
where people could just call.
Yeah.
He helps us over the phone so many times. It's not even funny. Like we'll call and I'll ask a question and he'll give me like really detailed like instructions. You're going to look to the right and see this, turn that, and then do this, and and go to the store and buy this part. And it's really just amazing.
Yeah, it's almost like he has a photographic memory with regard to every machine or device he's ever seen.
He's really just one of the smartest people I've ever met. And I'm not saying that just because he's my dad. So
I want to answer a couple of these questions here. Somebody says Lolaho stickers. We need that for merchandise. I agree completely. We are working on new stickers, I promise. Greg asked, when are you guys going to do solar? I'm totally open to doing solar. Like, I'm not anti-solar in any way. I mean, our issue from the beginning was during the hot months in the South, we need air conditioning, and solar isn't quite up to that task. But when we're out west or in other parts of the country and it's not so hot, solar could handle pretty much everything. So, we at RVIA, we talked to a couple of companies that do solar. We're going to get a nice inverter, I think, installed in our Airstream and do some solar panels. I would love to embrace solar. So,
Adana Willow Raven. I'm sure I'm saying your name completely wrong, and I'm so sorry. But thank you for the tip. We greatly appreciate it, and I'm glad that our videos have helped.
Says we haven't made the jump yet, but we're planning to, and your videos are being watched regularly. Thank you. Thank you so much.
We always say that if you learn anything from our channel, it's usually because we did it wrong the first time, and so we show you how to do it and not make the same mistakes we did. So let us make the mistake first, and then we'll tell you how to avoid it.
There's value in that too. Let's see. Somebody asked about generators, and we're going to be doing some more generator reviews in the future. Right now, we're traveling with the Atima units. I've got the 3000 and the 2000 watt here, and I'm going to.
My dad is a veteran, by the way.
Mr. Roboto said,
"Go Navy."
Yep, he was in the Navy. He really traveled the world with the Navy when he was in.
Gino asks, are you guys going to have new t-shirts soon? We've got a few more designs coming, but right now I think we have 4 designs in our Amazon store, so just check that out.
Trent Austin says, and thank you, Trent.
Yeah, thanks for the tip. That's so nice.
Awesome. Says, love your channel. We're a family of 6 and we don't miss an episode. We're planning to go to Glacier and Banff this summer. First major trip, pulling our travel trailer. You're an inspiration. Thank you so much. You will love both those places. You guys are going to have an
amazing time.
Those are 2 great choices. It's such a
gorgeous place. The drive up there is so beautiful. There's lots of great wildlife. The water there is just incredible because the reflection of the minerals in the water gives it that icy blue look, and it's just gorgeous. So
we always see bear when we go to Glacier.
Yeah, that's one place where we see a lot of bear.
And I'll say here's a small tip about Glacier. I mean, you'll figure this out, but it seems like we see more bears on the northern side of the park. There's a hotel there, the Meny Glacier Hotel. It's a beautiful hotel, just like a classic old, lots of wood, natural wood hotel. And there's usually grizzly in that area. So, you will love Glacier.
Take your bear spray.
Yeah, take your bear spray. Go on some hikes while you're there.
Yeah.
Those are some of the best places I think you can take an RV in North America,
Okay, so maybe we'll do a meetup in Central Florida. We've got several people interested in that.
There's a suggestion for some places. The Crooked Can, just
sounds
north of
awesome.
Disney.
All right,
Any possibility of a clip on photography and editing? I was going to give a shout out. I have a photo and video channel, which I sort of neglect because I spend so much time focusing on the RV side of things. But if you dig around, you can find there's another channel just sort of dedicated to photography and video stuff. And I plan to do more on that in the future. John Marici, thank you so much,
Thank you so much for the tip. We greatly appreciate it.
Big fan, obviously, for a while. Thanks again for all you guys have done. Well, thank you so much, John.
Somebody's asking for the best campground in Alabama with full hookups. Well, we haven't been to them all, but I will say Oak Mountain State Park in just south of Birmingham, is a great state park that does have full hookups, and you're close to the city if you want to go into the city. So yeah.
Thomas asked, have you updated your Nikon? I've still got my Nikon gear, but find myself using Sony much more often these days for the video capabilities. Like the Sonys have in-body image stabilization. You see, I'm geeking out on the photography stuff already. But the Sonys are a little bit more for video shooters too, and I do so much video that I found myself using those Sonys a lot more. So, but I still love Nikon. I mean, if I'm really reaching to take a still photograph, I will go for Nikon first because it's
just the best.
Yeah.
Carmel in Australia. Hi there. You're gonna have an awesome time in your motorhome.
Susan says hi from Palm Beach.
Hi from Palm Beach.
Oh, we might be in your neighborhood.
Yeah. Somebody asked if we've been to the biggest mall in Edmonton. We have. We have been to that mall.
Yeah. Let's see.
Always an adventure. All right, guys, we're closing in on the 70-minute mark.
Yeah.
So I think it's probably time for us to wrap up. But we've enjoyed chatting with you guys so much. We always have a great time interacting with you guys on here. I'm sorry that we don't get to more questions than we do, but it's sort of hard when they fly by so fast. And when this video is over, the comments that are made during the video sometimes go away. So if you had a really important question that you want us to answer and we didn't get to it during this video, wait for it to be posted back to our back to our YouTube channel, and then just leave a comment under there. And we do our best to get to them as we can.
Yeah. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us today. Thank you for being a member of Loho Nation, subscribing to our stuff.
Yes,
and for being really such a kind and supportive community overall.
Thanks for all your concern about Sean and his health. And we certainly appreciate all the well wishes and the prayers for him. They have been felt, and all we can say is his medication is working for now. And so we're very thankful. And we're just going to keep on keeping on.
I really think if we were doing something in a different genre, we wouldn't have nearly this kind of like love and support. I think people who are into travel and RV and camping stuff are just rock solid, cool people that, you know, we feel a kindred, you know, connection to.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I think that's why overall, you know, I joke about the trolls. The trolls don't intimidate or bother me really at all. and it's because there's so many of you.
There's
just
so many
great
positive
people
that
out
just
there.
drowns out the few negative.
Right.
And that's everything in life. Everything in life is going to have somebody that's going to moan and groan or say something mean or whatever. And that's not who you look to in life for your friendship or your support. So we look to you guys, and we appreciate all of your positivity and the fact that you laugh with us. And you probably laugh at us sometimes too, and that's okay. But laughing with us is appreciated, and we just hope that we can share some of our crazy experiences with you, and you learn something from them, or maybe you learn what not to do from them. And maybe it'll just make your experiences better.
I think Scott Weatherby said it best: in every barnyard, there's always a jackass. That's a good point.
Very true.
Remember that. Thankfully, we have mostly cool people in our barnyard. All right, we're going to sign off.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks again. Please subscribe if you haven't, and we'll post another video soon.
This is where we say Loloho and hello, Turkey. We've been there.
Turkey.
We've been to Istanbul.
Bye.
Bye-bye.